Hello everyone, here is the Clever Idiot and this is the 11th tutorial on C programming. In this tutorial we are going to know about type conversion. Just open the code blocks and in this code we have seen that the result should be 5.5. Why? Because the value of x is 11 and the value of y is 2. So when we divide 11 by 2 the result should be 5.5, but when we run it, it shows only 5 and not 5.5. So before knowing the reason, we should know about the type conversion. So just comment it. Now what is a type conversion? I am explaining by giving an example like printf %d, 5 plus 4. Now you can write an expression here as well as a variable name here. For example, if I will write like int race and then race equals to 5 plus 4, then what I should write here? I should write here race instead of 5 plus 4 because the value of 5 plus 4 is stored in race. So I am not declaring here any variable, I just use the expression direct. Now what it will get print? It should print 9. 5 plus 4 is 9 and 9 is an integer, so we have used %d. Just run it and see it is printing 9. What if I will take %f here? Since it's an integer value and the format specifier that we have used here is float type, so the result should be 0. See, it is in float but the answer is 0.0000. Why? Because the result which is coming from here is not a float number, it's an integer number, so we should use the same data type for it, that is %d. Now what is the meaning of type conversion here? Here the type conversion means when we do operation between two integer numbers, then the result is an integer number. Okay, this is a type conversion, means when we do operation between int and int, means integer and integer, the result should be an integer. What if we will do an operation between an integer, that is 5, and a float number, that is 8.9? So the result should be a float number. Okay, when we do operation between an integer number and a float number, then the result is an float number. And the operation may be plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, anything. Okay, now since the result should be a float number and I have used %d, so it should give an arbitrary value, not the exact result, that is about 13.9. it will not give 13.9, it will give an arbitrary value. See, it is giving arbitrary value because we have done operation between integer value and then a float number, so the result should be a float number. So we should use a float format specifier. Now just run it and it will give an accurate result, that is 13.9. Okay, so when we do operation between integer and integer, the result is an integer. When we do operation between an integer and float, the result is an float. And when we do operation between float and float, or we can say 5.1, then what will happen? The result is an float. When we do operation between float and float, the result is in float. Since we have used the float format specifier, so it will give an exact answer, that is 14. Just run it and it is giving 14.000. But what if I will use %d here? Since when we do operation between float number and float number, the result is a float number, but we have used here an integer format specifier, so the result should be 0. See, why? Because we have used a wrong format specifier. So type conversion has 3 points here. First thing, when we do operation between float and float, then the result will be a float. Okay, the second point is when we do operation between float and int, then the result will be a float. And the third one is when we do operation between int and int, then the result will be an int. So these are the 3 points which we should know about type conversion. There is one more point about type converter, but I will explain you in the next video, and after that I will explain you why this code is giving 5 instead of 5.5. Till that, if you like this video, press the like button. If you have any doubt, just comment below, share with your friends, subscribe the channel, and of course be a clever idiot. Thank you.